Hey, Dot Sisters and our friends across the globe. It is Shannon Crotty here with the first of many managing director interviews. And today I am honored to have with us one of the most impactful managing directors our company has ever had in our history, Tina Nowick. Tina, thank you for being here with me today.
Hi, you're welcome. Feel honored and excited.
That's awesome. And she's the first one in this series of interviews, so she has no idea what to expect. That's how I like it to roll, but it's going to be nice and easy and friendly. And hopefully we will encourage a member, a leader, someone else through watching this, and that makes it all worthwhile. So Tina, I think I know everything, but I don't. I think I know a lot about you, but maybe someone viewing does not. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about you and who you are?
Sure. So, a little bit about me and who I am. I'm a mom and a wife and a business owner. And I was in the corporate world, but then transitioned out, thought that was not the place for me to be anymore. And yeah, I found business ownership. And in fact, I could probably share a little bit later, but a bit of the business idea that I got had to do with Polka Dot Powerhouse. So yes, I attribute my birthing of a business to my dot sisters. So let's see, I have two children, and one is 24 and one is 18. So we have officially both adult children. Crazy, wild. Um, we live in Boise, Idaho currently, although we've been here for 10 years. I grew up in San Diego, California. I was born in Maui. So that's a little trek of where I came from and where I'm at now. Very different places, that's for sure. Let's see, what else? What else do you want to know about me?
What do you love to do when you're not doing? Because I know you, girl. You do for a lot of people, not only the polka dot community, but your family, your community. What do you do when that's just for Tina?
Ooh, so well, I love hiking. So one of my things that I do love to do is get outside and just get on a good hike. So I can't wait for the hiking weather. It's like right there. It's almost there. I'm so excited. And most recently, I have really found a love for country line dancing. So it's kind of been my Wednesday night. In fact, one of my dot sisters, her and I are like, we are consistent typically. And we go almost every Wednesday night. We go line dancing. And even when we're terrible at it, it is so much fun. I just love like having that kind of different outlet from, yeah, all the other things, responsibilities and things. So that is super fun. And then I just love spending time. One of my love languages is quality time. So I love spending time with family and friends and yeah, whatever that is. We like bowling. As a family, we like bowling. That is a big family type of activity where, all the kids even like to do it. So it's fun.
There's a lot of joy and laughing in bowling, typically. So,
And you don't have to be good at it. It's just one of those things you can go and do, and we're all very inconsistent, but it's still fun.
yeah, absolutely. And no one needs you necessarily when you're line dancing, right? Just the
Yes.
music needs you, and that's all that needs you. So that's a little bit of self-care time, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. I really do feel like it is my self-care time. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Awesome. And you kind of alluded to it, but tell us more about how you found your business idea through Dots.
Yeah, so we would do roundtable and mastermind type of discussions within our chapter. Just something that we just kind of started to do kind of early on when we first were starting. And so our mastermind looked a little different then than it does now. But so a lot of times we would go around this discussion, and the struggles that the business owners would have is, like the business part of the business. So those behind the scenes things, like the daily to-dos that, they don't really either love to do or don't have the skill to do. And so like backtrack, for when I transitioned out of the corporate world for my sister and her successful business at the time, she needed some help. And so it just kind of fit. She said, maybe you can just come help me for a little bit. And so back then, that was, 12 or so years ago, virtual assistants or virtual business managers weren't really, a thing, not necessarily like a business idea, right? So I just had in my mind I was helping my sister for a little bit, and until I figure out the next thing that I was going to do. And I did that for quite some more than we thought I was going to be doing that for. So then fast forward back to these masterminds, I started thinking, well, gosh, these are the things that I would help my sister in her business with, and they're things that I'm typically pretty good at. And so I just thought, like, gosh, what a way I could help my fellow dot sisters. And so that was back in 2019 is when that, like, the wheels were turning. And then I just kind of decided, you know what, I'm just gleaning off of all of these amazing women around me who have, like, started businesses from scratch, literally done everything from the beginning, and were just amazing business owners. And so I felt like I gleaned off of the confidence of those that were experienced already in business ownership. So yeah, so I just decided, okay, well, I'll just go for it and see what happens. And so in, like, 2020, January 2020, I started announcing in the Polka Dot meetings, okay, I'm starting a new business and this is what it is. Yeah, and 2020 did not hinder the business. So I thought I would take a year before having a team, and I actually had to get a team put together by the fourth quarter of the year, because I had to start saying no to people. So, and I didn't want to say no to people because, yeah, I wanted
Right?
to be able to help.
That's incredible. Number one, I don't think I've ever heard that story, but number two, looking at your company now, somewhere, I don't know why I had this impression, but somewhere in my head, I thought she's been doing this for like 15, 20 years, right?
Uh-huh.
Your company, the image, the marketing that you do, the branding that you do, the team that you represent, looks like you guys were probably the first ones to do this, right? Like, looks like you've been doing it a long time and really, really well.
Wow. I take that as a really big compliment. Thank you.
You're welcome. What about, I love how, not for everybody, obviously, but like even in times like 2020 was, there's opportunities. And sometimes, like, when you slow down enough to even see them, like, you know what I mean? We were all
Mhm.
slowed down and confined, and I don't even know if that's how it happened for you, but I did hear you say how, your brain, and I'm assuming also your gut, was like firing, like, girl, pay attention, listen up.
Mhm.
Sometimes I think it's during those times that are the most challenging that the best ideas come, and that courage to implement those ideas come. Do you agree?
Mhm. I do. For me, it did come, well, the idea transpired that year before 2020, and we didn't slow down, fortunately, because of the type of business, it being virtual. And then we were able to help those businesses that were doing just, fine, because they were also more so virtual. But what you're saying is, I feel like kind of what I did in 2019 was just kind of slow down, stopped the other thing that I was doing, and did what I needed to, obviously, for my chapter. But it was like I just really took some quiet time to let my brain figure out, okay, there's something there, and what is that going to look like? And of course I had the big vision of, I'm going to have an agency, it's going to be a team. And like, I had that in my mind first, and then I, like, was like, okay, let's not put the cart before the horse. Before I actually bring on a team, let me do this all by myself and just figure out the things, like, who do I want to work with? What's my client, what is my ideal client, and what do I really want to be doing for these clients, and kind of figuring out those things before bringing other people into it.
Right. How did you know? Like, do you remember how you knew it was time? Okay, I can't do this anymore by myself. Because to me, that is one of the scariest steps for entrepreneurs, is
Mhm.
knowing when to pull the trigger on that expansion.
Mhm. So honestly, it was really, because I said I was only going to take on maybe a couple of clients just to do all that experimenting in the first year. And that's what I told myself. And but then as the word started spreading, more people were coming to me and asking, oh, do you have room for another one? And of course, I really was getting to that point where I was like, okay, I can't say yes. I'm gonna stretch myself way too thin, and then, it won't be a good reputation anymore. It won't, so yeah, that's when I was like, okay, I don't want to be saying no to people. I want to be able to help as many as I can. That is the whole purpose of, expansion and having an agency, to help more and more and more. So I just went for it, and luckily had just, a couple of immediate contacts that I knew who I wanted to go to ask, to be team members or to come on board, and they're not the same as they are today, which is always, fun how that happens too. But yeah, they served their purpose for that season of my business and that time, and it was super helpful, and I'm so grateful for them.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. So let's pull it back to Polka Dot now. We know that it kind of was helpful, at least in finding your business idea. But what did you really love? Because you were a member before you started a chapter.
Mhm.
What did you really love about Polka Dot? Like what was your favorite part as when you were before you were a leader in Polka Dot?
So, I mean, I had a very little time frame as a member before just knowing right away I wanted to apply to be a managing director. So, I had coincidentally been looking around in my area for a networking group, and I knew I wanted to network with women, and I just wasn't finding I was finding a lot of just very businessy ones, which I was, fine with business, but I wanted not just superficial relationships. I wanted to create real genuine connections with people that maybe I could hang out with, go to line,
Right.
fast forward, go to line dancing with, not just have business conversations and network in that way, but also just real relationships, friendships.
Mm.
And there just wasn't anything during that time that I was searching in my area like that. So I had a friend in San Diego, Jen, who she had taken over the chapter there. And so I asked her what this thing was, Polka Dot Powerhouse, because I knew that wasn't her business. And so when she explained, what it was about and the mission and how it's more than networking. And I was like, well, that's basically what I'm looking for. But of course there was nothing remotely close. And I did want something in person, not just virtual online. So it was actually her and my sister that put the bug in my ear. Well, they start chapters in different places. You should look into that. And I really was not looking to start anything. I wasn't looking to add something else to do. I was just wanting to plug myself in and join something. But I did have that moment again of like that, that gut instinct of, okay, there's a reason why this is being presented the way it is to me. This is coming across my path. And I feel like I've been meeting all these amazing women locally that I think would really like this concept of networking differently. So that's
Yeah.
came from, yeah.
Yeah, you have this I think sometimes people, well, I think most of the time people just by nature build an image of what they think a certain title is. And you've always astonished me because there's all kinds of different personalities of leadership, right? But you have such a quiet, calming energy about you. I think sometimes people think I can't be a leader because I'm not the person that's talking the loudest in the room, or because they think that the leader should be the one that's the loudest and the most boisterous or whatever that is.
Mhm.
And I've seen leaders of all different characteristics come in and do really, really well. You have your magnetic pull is many things, but one of them is that you have such a calming, reassuring presence about you.
Mm.
And I'm assuming, because there are leaders that are a character when they're a leader and they're a different person at home.
Mhm.
Maybe you don't want to reveal that, but is that who you are as a person as well?
So, yeah, I mean, I would say, I think we are sometimes a little bit different depending on who we are with and who we are around. But I do feel like in general, I am a little bit more of like a calmer type of person, like my best friend says, she's like, I just feel like a sense of relief when I'm with you, like a sense of peace, just like comfortable. So, yeah. So yes, that must be my true nature because obviously I'm my most authentic self with my
Right,
best friend. Um, and yeah, I mean, would my kids and my husband say sometimes that's not the case? Yes,
right, right.
100%.
Yeah,
Because sometimes we have to get a little loud in the house. But no, I think in general, yes, that is probably just like my nature and how I am. Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
And for those who are watching whom, I mean, if you are in the dot community, you probably have this knowledge, but for those of you who are watching who are maybe future dots or friends of dots, Tina is the managing director of one of the largest, most impactful chapters we have ever seen. have certainly broken records with their number of members, but what is the most, that is a major thing in itself, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing, and I talk about you guys frequently because I don't know what secret sauce you got going, but it's not only one of the largest and most impactful, but it's one of the closest, which is almost, like, it's like, how is that possible? Because for a lot of people, once a chapter hits a certain number, they feel like that closeness is gone. It's like, how is this chapter that typically runs over 200 people? You can feel it in your social media. And I've visited many times, you can feel it when you're there, this closeness. How do you think you guys have achieved that level of sisterhood where you're at?
Gosh, I feel like there's just so many things to give credit to for that, but just starting with the leadership team and in the beginning the core members. I think that we were very well, and I was very specific about this isn't just a numbers game. This is like we are looking for very specific type of people who are like-minded, get what we have here, will honor our culture and like the no drama and all of those things, and that we are connection first. And this isn't where you come in and give your sales pitch and so I think because we've just held so strong to that, that it has allowed other women to feel comfortable coming into that. And for those that want the just business, 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 or drama, they tend to weed themselves out if they do find their way to us. Or what I love even more is that they tend to realize what we are about more and more, and then they actually kind of morph into what we've created here. So and so that's happened too. But I think we just, again, because we haven't thought of this, and I've even said this to some managing directors recently who've asked me, some different things. They'll ask me some questions. And I said, I am a numbers person by nature. I mean, I was good at math in school, and I can very well get caught up in numbers. And I realized that very early on with my chapter. So I actually, like your Shannon, I stopped paying attention to numbers, and I was like, I don't even know what my retention rate. I don't even know, what the rate is that we're growing month over month, year over year. All I know is that we're growing and we are bringing in the women that we want to be bringing in. And that's it. Like we just keep doing what we're doing to attract what we're attracting and yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think it's also has to do with your leadership team and you. I mean,
Mhm.
it has to do with so many factors, like you said. There's a bunch of factors, and many of that are the members that are being brought in, the socials and all that. But you can't. It either trickles down from the top or it doesn't. I was talking to one of your leadership team members. I won't say who it is because I didn't get her permission. And we were talking about something else, and for some reason we got brought back to your leadership team. And she said, "This is the most cohesive and encouraging leadership team I've ever been a part of." And she said, "I've been a part of quite a few." When you were picking your leadership, did you have this complete vision of what you wanted that leadership to look like? And did you go seek those people out? Did you organically say, "Hey, that person seems very helpful," and they are also, like, what was your strategy, if any, when you were building your leadership team?
So, I would say it looks different, has looked different over time, right? So just like with my business in the beginning, those that were there served like the purpose for that time frame. And um, I was one when I started my chapter where I built my leadership team first, which was super crucial because then I had already this group of women that were just basically as devoted as I was to like growing this thing and wanting to see it do well. So in the beginning, it was really more so just, okay, I think they're great women. I would love to, work side by side with them. And then we'll just figure out what roles we can have each other do. So that's more so like what it was in the beginning. And then as time has gone on, I feel like for me, it's more of like an intuitive thing where I just, I mean, we honestly, we did some applications, like here and there, but as time has gone on, it's more been like I've identified people that I can tell love, like do want to do a little bit more, but they also have the different qualities. Like they know our culture, like they represent the culture. That's basically, I think the big thing is like I recognized in some of those leadership team members that they would be able to represent Polka Dot just as well as I do, or anyone else from upper leadership. So yeah, and then of course from there just figuring out their different strengths and yeah, what they wanted to do.
Right. And you have so many different personalities. Like when I look at your leadership team, and if I were to dissect that team, oftentimes what happens with a leadership team, not every day, but occasionally, is we are attracted to the people that we understand, right? To the qualities that we have, the strengths that we have. I think it's very challenging for people, and you seem very good at this, but it's challenging for people to have the courage to say, I really need to balance myself, and this is
Mhm.
what I need to do. But what's great about your leadership team, and what I'm really proud of, and not having told you to do this, but seeing you do it, which to me conveys to me how much you understand polka dot, is your members are well represented on that leadership team, meaning I can see people who are introverts. I can see people who are extroverts. I can see women who are very dedicated to their business. I can see women who are really aren't businessy. Like your members have to be able to see themselves in your leadership team. And if I dissect your leadership team, I can see so many different personalities, which to me is probably another reason, one of the many reasons that you've done so well, is that members who are entering see themselves in some form on that leadership team.
Yeah. I Yes, and I don't know, I mean, there's definitely some of that that played into this strategy, but just, different strengths. No, just knowing, um, you know, with my experience in previous like team situations, having the balance of different strengths, not just everyone like you or everyone that's going to just agree and go with whatever you say, but just really strong team member. I mean, they are leadership, right? So and I try to empower them also to, in their roles. I mean, it's funny because I can be a very, I feel like in the past I could be really controlling and, and expect like this to be done this way. Yes. But this is one of the ways I've grown so much. And, as a managing director as well, is just being like, okay, just empower them to do their thing. This is what they want to be doing. And so let them roll with it. And yeah, and have fun with it too. But I think you're right. There's our team is diverse, and then it just shows like as far as personality and yeah, background and everything and what they do, and then that just shows up, yeah, as well in our membership. I agree. Yeah.
And that team does so well together, even though they are so diverse in their personality, their experience, all of that. I think that also shines a light to members that, you know what, we can welcome people of all different belief systems, of all different backgrounds, all different goals, and look how well we can get along. Look what we can accomplish together when we don't limit ourselves to only people like us.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have the whole like-minded, approach, which is just things like, no drama llama, sisterhood, and that type of stuff, but very different in other ways. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I love it. What would you tell? I think there's a lot of people that really want to be leaders, like they're feeling the itch to be leaders, and yet they don't fit the mold. I know for me, like early on as CEO, I didn't think I fit the mold, so I was really hiding out. A lot of people are feeling the itch. Their gut is telling them to take on a leadership role in some capacity, whether it's polka dot or otherwise, but they aren't sure they fit that mold. Would you have any kind of message for someone who doesn't think that they're necessarily leader quality as far as jumping forward as a leader?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where I was. I didn't think that I was, I mean, like I said, I was way out of my comfort zone to start this chapter and to be in this type of a role. And so I didn't think that, like you said, I am a little more quiet and reserved, and I'm not like the extrovert, and I'm not like the loudest one in the room. So, and sometimes we do think that that's what maybe that needs to look like, but I would just say there isn't a right. There isn't one way. If you look at all of the managing directors across all the chapters and look at their personality types, we're all so different. And they're and still successful and just, different. The way we do things are still a little bit, different from each other.
Right.
So I would say if there is that little like inkling in that person, I would tell them just go for it because you can just learn and grow as you go, which is what I have done. And surround yourself with those people like the leadership team that I had initially created was super helpful with that. They were very supportive and just wanting to see the success of it as well, but then continuing their personal development as well along the way. I've read a lot of leadership books and just done different things, pushing myself outside of my comfort zone all the time, and just having to be pushed outside of my comfort zone situations just require that. And it's good. It's good for us. And yeah, I would tell someone there's a reason why if they're kind of thinking about it, that they should definitely go for it. At least, yeah, take that next step. See what it's about. Come to the, what is PDP call? Um, yeah, and bring out that leadership in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to piggyback on that, I guess I would want to share too, that whatever brings you joy is something that somewhere someone is seeking, meaning you think, okay, everybody knows how to do that, or no one's seeking this. Whatever it is that lights you up and brings you joy is somewhere out there. There is someone needing that on their leadership team. There's a chapter that needs a leader like that to start the chapter, or even outside of Polka Dot, a dream, a goal, a nonprofit, anything like that, whatever lights you up for a reason. And there's someone actively seeking that and needing and looking for you. So, have the courage to find it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So for people who are looking, but they aren't a member of Polka Dot, why do you think our sisterhood is so important?
Mm, gosh, there's so many reasons. It's I know a lot of people say this, and so I've started to say it too because it's so true. It's like the sisterhood I didn't know I needed. Um, but I just think that I've heard so that our last month was our chapter anniversary month, and the stories that we hear, yeah, so exciting, 6 years. And we got to share like some different, like basically our question was in our meeting, our icebreaker question was, what is one way that Polka Dot has impacted you that you didn't expect, or what did you get out of it that you did not expect coming into it? And just the stories that we hear from women, um, there's maybe like some that have to do with business and some business growth or just gleaning off the members for their business and learning around all these amazing women. But what are even just more heartfelt is just that they have this whole group of support for whatever it is, business or personal. Some of our members have gone through some of the toughest things in their life. And we have been able to be there for them. And they just, instantly feel like there's this big support group for them, no matter what it is. If it's maybe starting a new business or it's going through a death in the family or, any of that. We've just been able to be there for our dot sisters. And so it's just really special hearing what an impact that we've had that goes, beyond maybe some business numbers for them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Less compartments for people to have to try to mentally sort their people. Like I have my work friends, I have my mom friends, whatever. And these are just my friends, my allies. These are my dot sisters.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Just a couple more questions and then you're going to be good to go. What are you currently focused on? Tina, what are you currently focused on?
So me outside of like Polka Dot and business,
General,
just
whatever you want to share. What are you currently focused on?
so I guess a couple of things like with Polka Dot itself, we're a chapter that kind of keeps we're around that large number. So I just am really trying to make sure that we are keeping as like as strong as close and strong as we possibly can which has come with, and it really hasn't been that hard, to be honest. I mean, I say it's a focus, but it's because it's just always there in my mind. But it's like our members are so good now about just coming in, and it's, if they like something, pickleball is like a new thing that some of our members are doing. They're just finding their ways and their people within our group to connect, right? Not everyone's going to be besties in the group, but whatever it is that you're interested in doing, and just kind of keeping those things that keep us cohesive going. But then outside of that, when it comes to some business stuff, I've been really focused on kind of revamping where I spend my time in my business, because I am the business owner, right? So I am really focused on what message I'm putting out there and where I'm putting out there. It's kind of interesting. I've kind of been exploring LinkedIn a little bit more, and also, yes, and then what's interesting is like the effects of that have been almost immediate. It's wild when you start focusing on something, like the things that start to transpire, right? But along with that, we'll go into like kind of my next step in business. I'm going to keep the agency, of course, and that's going to be my first and foremost. But there's some like a different aspect of it, and I don't know exactly what that looks like. But I've had some different ideas really since the beginning. It's just a matter of really honing in on which way to go and what really will fill my cup as well as help other people as well.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. And I love that message going back out that it's okay. Whatever is going to fill your cup will serve others. So it's okay to
Mhm.
look at filling that cup first, because you really can't go wrong. It's not about selfishness. It's about self-awareness, self-respect, self-love, which only gets magnified back to you and only serves others. So
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, Shannon, I really I'm like in that time of my life too, where I'm trying to really embody and also show other people that it's not just about like working all the time and business stuff all the time. Like enjoy the things like I said, line dancing and whatever that is to people, but like still have fun, like still have your life, because otherwise you just get, burnt out. And you and I know, as like the human design that we are, that is totally a thing. And just becoming more aware of that is living life, because life is going on right now. And it's not like I'll do that in 5 years, I'll do that in 10 years. Just have fun now.
absolutely.
Enjoy. Yeah.
And you mentioned that we're both projectors. And I don't know about you, but I felt so seen and like, ooh, that I had kind of been fighting against the fact that I need a lot of downtime. And reading that about myself, I'm like, okay, I don't need to fight it anymore. I don't need to push against it or feel bad about it. Like, this is just how I'm designed. And I don't know about you, but it was such a relief to read and see that.
Yeah, I would say that is definitely on the top of like one of my most life-changing books that I read. So thank you.
Love that.
Because yes, we just oftentimes, even like when it goes back to the managing director, you think you have to fit in this certain box to be a certain person, a certain way, like other people. And success looks different for different people, and how to go about it looks different for different people. So we don't have to fight that. We just embrace it and learn how to use that to our full advantage.
I love that. That's a perfect way to end our talk. But I want to give people, because I know you are so loved in our dot family, but maybe even people watching this are thinking, well, I need what she said she offers, or I want to learn more about this Tina lady. How can people find you and connect with you?
So let's see. I do have, I guess my email address would be best, and it's virtualtinanowick@gmail.com. Yeah, if you want to reach out. I mean, I'm on social media too, so Tina Nowick on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. And we'll put it in the footnotes of the video as well. And remind everybody of your business that you have, the name of that again.
So it's called Save the Day Assistant.
Okay. Perfect. And Tina is the managing director. I don't even know if we even said this.
Oh
Tina
yeah.
is the managing director of the Treasure Valley, Idaho chapter, which, as she mentioned, is going 6 years strong, has no signs of slowing down now, and is affecting so many lives and so loved in our great big polka dot family. So Tina, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you today. And thank you so much for all that you do for polka dot. I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you. I appreciate you so much, and you just having the courage to start what you started. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. And we will see you back soon with another managing director interview. Until then, have a great day and find so much joy. Bye.